Hi, this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'll be telling you why you should start a high barrier to entry business and why the potential benefits can potentially overweight the cons, but ultimately it will cost you a lot of money to invest because high barrier means that it's going to be a high cost in order to start up, and you sort of need to make sure it works. But overall, it'll be an amazing business to start because there'll be less competition because it's not easy to start. But yeah, before I jump into this video, I want to thank everyone who's subscribed to the channel. Like always, you guys are all awesome and super special. And do consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel if you found this video useful after as well. So yeah, let's jump straight into this video. So my first point is that you have less competition to compete with, and I think that's so important. As long as you have what you want to start up and you have a rough idea of the products you want to sell, if it's in a shop, if it's on maybe a larger scale of something, barriers to entry businesses will require that high investment. So it could be 50k, it could be 100k, and if you have that money and you are willing to invest in an idea or a product that is not already locally around you, or you can start making and being a supplier for it, you should probably go for it because there's less competition. Yes, people can buy stuff online, but if people could source it locally, if they could support local businesses, then they could potentially do that as well. So potentially if you want to set up like a shop or like a food cafe and you have extra money and you can afford to have it as savings, or you can borrow it from friends and family, you can set up a nice cafe shop, you serving it to customers face to face, and you have that customer relationship. And not a lot of people will compete with you because number one, there's not enough locations for people to invest in around you potentially, and number two, the cost is so much. Literally, if you don't have external finances or if you don't have savings to start your own shop and the stuff you build up, then it will be very difficult to jump into a cafe business straight away. You might need to start from a market store business, which is very low cost to start, very low entry to start, and then work your way up. But with that, it could still take you years in order to get to your ideal cafe business. But if you do have the capital and finance somewhere, you will have less competition. But ideally, maybe there will be a lot of cafes around, so you might need to think of a unique concept. But it's the idea that you will have less competition if your idea is unique enough and that there's no one offering the alternative to what you're doing. My second point is that if you want to dream big, you're gonna have to go big. And literally, if your dream is to have a restaurant, if your dream is to have a cafe business, if your dream is to have a clothes shop in a nice high street and that's what you want to try to do, you're gonna need to go big in the investment because there's no way of going small on something that is gonna require a lot of maintenance, a lot of overheads, a lot of paying rents and utilities. If you are committed to that business, you know how much you're going to need to put your time, effort, and hours into, and your energy, and obviously your resources and everything you've learned from your past jobs and stuff like that. But literally, you will be building upon that, and I think that's so important because what you want to be doing is you want to be working towards your goal, you want to be working towards your ideal situation, and hopefully that could fulfill your dreams, your passions, and maybe make something out of your hobby as well that you've never really thought that you can turn into a business, but because you've sold a little maybe online or in a market store, you want to be able to make it bigger and better and get it to as many people as you can, serving it to the masses. You need to go big. And I think when you start up a high to barrier entry business, you are going to be putting in that investment. You're going to be putting into that resources, your experience, getting in the right people, making sure the business functions well as well in order to be successful. But you will be committed to that. You'll be thinking big things and big business ideas, and I think you need to push towards that. You need to have a goal and be ambitious. Why not be ambitious? Life is too short. If your dream is to start up a cafe business, maybe a Argentinian cafe business, then go and figure out how you're going to be able to do that. Figure out the location. Are there enough customer base? Can you serve enough food in order to make up rent and stuff like that? Will you be happy doing it? and all that amazing stuff. Do be ambitious if you can. Do put in the money and effort into it if this is the thing you want to do, because ultimately you won't have any regrets at the end of it, and at least you tried your best doing it. And I think that's the most you can do. It's most we as human beings can do as well. And I think once you do something successfully, or even if it doesn't work, at least you've done it. At least you've given it a try. You've not let it roll over you and someone has told you just can't do it. You've done it, you see how it went, and then you move on. I think that is so important, particularly if you start a business like that. It is high risk, high rewards, and yes, you will be getting, again, if you start up a shop, you'll be getting consistent sales coming in. As long as your product is good, your service is good. Like with smaller businesses, you might get sales every now and again, you might get a couple of sales during the day, but when you start a shop, you are open to the public. You are open to the masses of people around you, and they could come in and out of your shop multiple times during the week in order to get what they need, and you'll be facing customers face to face. And that's the most important part. When you start a market store business, you could be opening a market store maybe once a week or twice a week or 3 times a week. But when you have like a shop, or if you start like a yoga studio or something like a cafe or bakery business, you'll be getting frequent customers. You'll be getting business customers, office customers, online customers as well. So many different people can be buying from you, and that is the reward for your high risk in the beginning. Yes, it will require all that money, all that energy, all that investment and stuff like that, but it is in order to get to a point where you are reaching your dreams, you're reaching the maybe profit margins that you're aiming for, the lifestyle that you want to sort of emulate or create for yourself, and hopefully creating a product that people will like and appreciate and will continuously buy from you. Sometimes you will need to do that. Not necessarily all the low risk businesses can reward the high thing that you want, because with low entry businesses, anyone can start those up. If you can start a business in £1,000, then everyone around you can do that. So what makes them different from you is literally competition and being able to differentiate yourself. When you have a high risk sort of business, you already sort of distinguish yourself in a more open environment. People know where you are, they know who you are, you're established, and they were more likely to give you a chance than someone who is new, or maybe someone who is just doing it part-time. You are committed to it, people will buy into that. And my fourth and final point is, don't be afraid to test yourself. I feel like a lot of people have great ideas, they just choose not to do it, and they choose to be just holding themselves back. I'd rather not do it, I don't want to be embarrassed, I don't want to let people see that I've failed. But life is too short. You need to be able to maybe fail or make mistakes and do it on your own time, your own pace, in order to improve yourself. You can't just be stunted. You just can't just be standing still the whole time. You want to be able to improve yourself. Consider it as development. Consider it as self-development, where you are continuously improving yourself and you want to make yourself better for the future, than to just hold yourself back from the endless possibilities that you could be achieving or going towards. So important. Use your time well. The time that you have on this planet is so short, it's unbelievable. So utilize everything that you have. Utilize every opportunities, as long as they're right opportunities for you and your business. But do consider all of this stuff. Don't be afraid to test yourself. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to share your ideas, because I feel like when you share your ideas, it feels a bit more real. You get a lot more feedback to see what stuff you could critique, what needs to be improved, whether this will work, whether that will work. But ultimately, you are the one to decide if you want to commit to it. And I suggest you do commit to it, because there's nothing wrong with failing here, failing there, as long as you take the positives from it. As long as you take the experience, you get your skill set as well. Even if it is to work for someone else and in that chosen industry you want to do, you just need to get that experience. You need to get that customer service experience, the logistical, operation, finance. Do what you need to do, but do dream big, do test yourself and see how far you can take yourself, because there's no point looking back on your life and that you're depressed and you only wish you could have been braver in your 20s or in your 30s or even your 40s, it's never too late to start your own business. So do be bold about it and do your research. Do your research, make sure you're confident enough that it will sell, and work hard at it. And I support you in this sort of realm as well, in this format. But yeah, I support you, and hopefully you can support this channel as well. Thanks for this video, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful, and you can like this video if you like this video and consider subscribing to the channel. Do consider everything I've spoken about, why it is worth doing, particularly if it is. But obviously high risk is gonna equal high rewards, but it also means that you could fall quite rapidly down as well. So do consider all your options. Do make sure you have enough reserve money. Make sure you don't put all your savings into it. If you can, see if you can get other people to maybe loan you money that won't charge you interest or won't charge as much interest. But do consider going big in order to achieve your dreams, but don't go big beyond your limits, because I don't want you to blow all your house savings or your mortgage money into a business and it doesn't work and then you come back to me. Do not do that. Plan everything you can, work as hard as you can, commit those hours, your energy, your planning, your people as well, and your business will be successful as long as you work at it. I've been Business with Dave. I'll see you next video. Take care.